I couldn't be more thrilled to be here with Janet. I'm Sarah Martinez, CRO over at Innovators Science. We're a leading global measurement and optimization platform, obviously helping marketers like Samsung protect their brand and maximize ROI with data transparency. So thrilled to be here, thrilled to be at CES with you. And just a huge thank you to Brand Innovators for getting us all together. It's 2024. I love seeing new and old friends. And honored to be with a brand right now sitting here who's got innovation at the core of everything that you do, and being at CES where innovation is born. So this is going to be a great talk. Can we just start with quick introductions, maybe a little day in the life of Janet Lee?
Sure. First, thank you, Brand Innovators, for this opportunity, and thank you, Sarah, for moderating. I'm Janet Lee. I head up all things marketing for mobile division within Samsung Electronics America. For those of you who need a little bit of background on Samsung, so Samsung is a huge company, and even Samsung Electronics alone is a huge company. There's home entertainment, your TVs, your soundbars, that's one division. There's digital appliances. You can see a lot of products from digital appliances division when you go to the floor at the show, and then there's mobile. So for mobile, I market smartphones, smartwatches, tablets, PCs, your true wireless earbuds. So that's what I do, and I have what I call full stack marketing organization that I kind of lead. We have PR with B2C marketing, B2B marketing. We have in-house creative services. We have media strategy team. We have influencers, partnership marketing. So, and we have our CRM team as well. So I lead fully integrated marketing team, and we work very closely with our key partners and our agency partners. I have my agency partners sitting in the first row. Yeah, so that's what I do. It's a big job, and I am very privileged to have this job, and we have a lot of fun. Busy.
Very busy. I know you've been busy this week. I know we don't have to talk about much, but we can go to the floor. But anything you want to share with what the week's been for you here?
A lot of meetings. I think CES just drives a lot of time efficiency for me and my agency partners because everyone's here. We can have back-to-back meetings. So that's great. And all the greater media community, they all kind of flock together in one location, so that drives even more efficiency. So I guess I've been getting a lot out in terms of like time return on my time investment. So it's been great, and we kind of pledged that we'll stop by the floor before we leave. There were times where we came to CES and never saw on the floor, so this will not be one of those. So I'm planning to go probably on Friday before I fly out.
Had some incredible announcements this week, so congratulations.
Yes, do you know, so to be honest, having been an inside Samsung person for like 6 years, I kind of lost sense as to what's a big announcement, what's a big innovation, and what's not. Because to us, everything is big, and then nothing is big enough, you know? So I was kind of watching my guests. I had my agency partners as my guests to the press conference, so I was watching their reaction. They're like, "Oh, I want that." I went there, I'm like, "Oh, that's big," you know. But because in the end, it doesn't matter what some engineering soon whatever get their precious resources Samsung, but it really doesn't matter what they think. What matters is what the consumer thinks, right? So I was carefully observing my agency partner's reaction throughout the whole announcement.
I've heard amazing things. And thinking about things that you've learned in big moments, throughout your career, you've had a heavy hand on the CPG side and beauty side in particular. Before coming to Samsung, what insights did you bring over from your experience on that side into the tech space?
So I worked in different companies before Samsung. I worked at J&J, I worked at Mattel, I worked at L'Oreal, Arden. So I guess if I count the years, I spent the most amount of years working in beauty. In beauty, you live and die by your brand. You're really good if you look at any given color and if you can tell if that matches your color key for your brand. So like, I don't know, PMS red color 186 is forever ingrained in my cornea, in my brain. So, you know, what I brought to Samsung, when I came to Samsung, what I brought with me was that obsession. I mean, it's beyond passion, it's obsession at that point. Obsession for your brand, your target audience. Yeah, that's what I brought in. In tech industry, to be honest, I never really know everybody in tech industry. I'm not committing any heresy by saying this, but marketing is not end all be all, unfortunately. It should be. In tech, it's the technology, right? Technology sells, and I think more and more marketing is gaining more importance because there's nothing that is so exclusive in tech. Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that, but you know, you know what I mean. So there isn't that much emphasis, just relative to CPG, relative to beauty, in marketing. But I think more and more, even the engineering community, even the sales community, I think they're realizing marketing is so important. And also because, you know, with the tech industry, there's slow growth and there's sudden acceleration in tech evolution, right? So in order to be successful throughout the different pace of evolution, you need to be able to articulate your technology in the consumer's language. You know, who cares about the early adopters? What really matters is the average consumer, the Gen Pop. So in that sense, I think there's increasingly more understanding of the importance of marketing. So that's what I brought with me, you know, putting the consumer at the center, always, always.
How do you instill that customer obsession? We have an IAS value, which is customer obsession. How do you instill that into your team?
You know, I don't agree. Sometimes it's implied that marketing is just, oh, if you have a good sense for it, you can be a marketer. It is an acquired skill set. You know, always thinking from the perspective of the consumer. It takes years of exercise, your brain exercise to do that intuitively for it to become your second nature. It's not, because sometimes we talk a lot, and then even you know, seasoned marketers, it takes us a few seconds to realize, oh shoot, we're marketing to ourselves right now. You know, the average consumer does not care. So being vigilant all the time and keeping yourself and your bunch of your colleagues in check when that's happening, right? And it's hard because if you are working in a company like Samsung for a long time, you lose touch with the realities of the average consumer, right? We call certain things, you know, one time Samsung came up with this phrase, programmed camera. What does programmed camera mean to the average person, right? It sounds like you know it, but you know, what we really meant was camera that's good enough, you know, for a professional, like as good as DSLR. So that kind of checking and making sure that we're not being lazy. Because, you know, it's hard to stop and think, okay, what would an average person, so that's when we stop someone, you know, we call our moms or dads and say, hey, what does this mean to you? They're like, what? And they're, okay, fine, you need to go back and do it again, right?
The importance of customer insights and all of the data that we have available to us and making that data actionable to make decisions against your marketing plans. I know Samsung's also been a pioneer and never been done before in BDB. I know I've seen those. I've gotten those RFIs before. I've definitely seen those words.
NBDB.
Yes, never been done before. How do you know, within your team and your marketing plans and hold your partners accountable to make sure that that's what you're working towards?
So, NBDB, everyone takes it differently, accepts it or manages it differently. For some people working at Samsung, it's so easy for MUDB to become the goals themselves, the end goals themselves. They should not be. Your objectives are what they are, right? Your business objectives, your marketing objectives, right? MBDB is just a reminder that you should not be constrained, you should not be limited by what you know and what you've done already, right? So to me, MBDB is a spirit. it's an approach, right? But oftentimes people feel like they get points for doing MBDB. And similarly in marketing and advertising community, we do things because they're new, they're like the next, yeah. I have to say, when we were talking about metaverse, like metaverse, and I said, oh, we will not be talking about metaverse next year. But so we always say, hey, your objectives are what they are. Trying the new thing itself, don't get confused along the way into thinking that was your goal. That wasn't.
Absolutely, and I guess a little bit in the NBDB bucket, but a big topic too has been AI. How are you bringing AI into the organization? How are you thinking about it? I know creators is a really large part of your strategy and such.
Yep. So those of you who have seen Galaxy AI is coming, I would so interpret it the way, I don't know how you would interpret it, but Galaxy AI is coming, that's all I can say. Galaxy AI is coming in. Our MC was saying he was very impressed with the Translate. Well, guess what's enabling it? AI, obviously. So from our product perspective, it is coming. The tagline's out already, the announcement is out already, so I think that much I'm safe to share. So obviously they're product side, and then as a marketer, all of our partners, all of our vendors, the entire advertising community is fast at work, working hard to bring meaning to AI and bring value to AI. So for us, it's just continuing to keep up with the conversation, and our great agency partners, they're always looking to see what we can take in order to improve our operations. I mean, in the end, it's driving improvement in quality of your work, of your creative work, saving you time, saving you money, saving you stress. So yeah, and our approach, together with our media agency, is to leverage all of our media partners' capabilities, and everyone has different capabilities. And we tell them, hey, this is what we're trying to accomplish. These are the questions we want answers to. What can you do? So we lean heavily on their capabilities and whatever innovation they're driving from AI perspective. And they're very, very supportive in leveraging their innovation, their new capabilities in driving and supporting us, driving our business objective and supporting us.
And speaking of the innovation, thanks to the incredible technology of the Samsung Galaxy devices, you also get to put that technology into creators' hands. And you've worked a lot with creators in the past year, and in part of your strategy in heading into 24. How do you define that strategy to make sure that it's got the NVDB spirit, but is also driving results on the creator side?
Yeah, so we started using the word creator more now. But before they were called influencers. We had influencer marketing program. And as we kind of developed and continuously improved our influencer marketing capabilities and in an attempt to drive increased impact, we started organically calling them creators. And then we were like, well, they're not all creators. Some are behaving more like talent. But then they're all influencers. So if you think about like the whole Venn diagram, all creators are influencers, but not all influencers are creators. So we even did this whole thing, and they're called Team Galaxy. More than anything, they're called Team Galaxy. What we did was we even mapped them out in terms of their roles. So they have roles. So like we have Jaden Smith, he's one of the bigger names on our roster. His role is image driver. We have tech educators like Colin Lemire. We have camera storytellers. And then we put them, we position them and say, okay, you're more a talent. Because Jaden Smith is not a creator, he's not going to create anything. More a talent, but you're an influencer. And we have smaller, influencers with smaller follower base. But they're extremely talented creators. So we have to, take a different approach and have bespoke kind of arrangement for each of the Team Galaxy members. But we started 3 years, so this year will be our third year. In 2022, we launched what's called Samsung Galaxy Creator Collective. It's just bringing all of our, initially it was done because we wanted to this is like the whole NBTD, how that drives our business objective. So our business objective at that time was to drive this pro-grade camera perception for our S22 that we launched the first half of 2022. And then we said, oh, okay, so if we want to show off our camera capabilities, what better way than to leverage, these people who create content with phones, and they much rather carry a powerful smartphone as their camera versus taking like DSLR and then sticks and whatever else, they all need to carry, especially when they're on a trip or something. So we said, okay, that's an organic way to integrate our camera story. And then at that time, this is before anybody invested in a big way in the creator community. So it was kind of stemming out of our business objective for our new launch. We said, okay, let's get them all together. And then we said, and then we kept evolving our thinking. Yes, let's tell the camera story, but when we engage with a community, whether it's a community of creators, or a community of music fans, a community of sports fans, we want to always bring our brand's perspective. So what is my perspective about creator community? So as we're developing that brand POV, we said, okay, our brand, Samsung brand, the broader Samsung brand, and then Samsung Galaxy smartphone brand, what do we stand for? We stand for democratizing access. Access to technology, access to creativity, access to producing things, and access to partners, access to opportunities. So we wanted to bring that. And then from there, we kept evolving. And what we said was, hey, if someone is passionate about creating content, not having the right connection, not having Samsung contracts, not having the right, devices, should never be a hindrance, an obstacle to. So from there, we created a whole value prop about Samsung Creator Collective, which is we help you transform. We help you turn your passion into profession. Because in order for content creation, something that if you're passionate about it, in order for that to be sustainable, you need to be able to make a living doing it. So we were not shy about that, saying that, hey, we understand you need to make money. And, we were initially like, oh, let's bring all these partners and talk about creativity. And I'm like, no. If you were a creator, what would you want to know? And when we actually, my influencer marketing head, he said, okay, I'm going to do a quick survey. You know what number one question was? How do you get a contract with Samsung? Yeah, because people need to make a living, So we rallied our partners, whether, all different social media platforms, said, don't come and pitch your platform. Don't come and pitch your new product. Come and talk about how they can get more, monetization opportunities on your platforms. So the whole Creator Collective is built around that. It's for them, not for us to pitch, to them. So,
That makes sense. And your Mr. Beast collab got the eye of my 10-year-old son who's asking me for a phone. So,
our phone?
Yeah, of course, obviously. So with that, I know we've only got a few minutes left. Just want to end with a little bit of 2023 is over. What's one thing you learned from 2023 that you're thinking differently about in 24?
Business-wise or like leadership-wise?
Business,
leadership. Well, one that I've been thinking a lot about lately. So towards the end of 2023, there's always a lot going on. I had to be absent from the day-to-day operations because I was on a trip to Korea or something, and always there's some urgent things I want to do. And I basically said, I'm tired. And I told my team, you guys need and you discuss and you figure out. And when I returned, they had a whole list of to-dos for me. And they said, Janet, you do this, you do that, you don't do that. I'm like, yes. And that just taught me that made me realize I wasn't leaning heavily enough on my team when I have an amazing team. You were just complimenting one of my team members. I have an amazing team. They were underutilized by me. So I make them lead more. So when we do talent evaluation, I would definitely say, you're going to lead this conversation because it was me all the time. So that has been amazing. Yeah. So I learned something new about my leadership and how to improve it. So I'm going to do more of that this year.
I'm going to do that too. Delegation and prioritization. I'm going to take that one. And we're only day, 9 into the year, so we got work to do. I think we're almost wrapping up. Does anyone have any questions? Babs, what do you got? You got a question? No? Okay. Anyone have any questions for Janet?
We're here at CES. Can you talk about the role of experiential?
Experiential? Yeah. So Samsung, as I said earlier, it's a big company, so experiential probably means something different for each line of business. For Gary, my colleague who sells refrigerators, I'm sure experiential. How to drive that means something completely different for him, and for me, I can speak from my perspective. Smartphones. When we launched foldable phones, for instance, we really painfully appreciated the importance of hands-on experience because there are not enough smartphones or foldable phones out in the wild. So there are a whole bunch of people. Initially, we had to cross the hurdle of awareness because foldable phones, they're still fairly new. So once we got to that point, we're like, yes, we hit our awareness target. And when we did a survey, even those who were aware, vast majority had not held one in their own hands and played with one. So with foldables launched last year, we drove what we call touch marketing, literally touch marketing. You need to touch it. You need to have it in your hand and experience it. So for us, that was big, and I think that's going to continue for mobile, anyway, for foldables. And that is why when we have our Unpack, which is our big announcement, and everybody knows that's next Wednesday, the 17th, as soon as everything gets announced and revealed, immediately we open what we call experiential space, and you can go in and experience, I would say that's the most premium experience for all of our products because all the great use cases, they're there, you can demo. So yeah, very important. That's why with every single announcement, we have our experiential space open.
I love it. Janet, thank you. You're a force. I loved this conversation, and happy CES, everyone.